Good evening, everyone. We, the members of CodeCraze, would like to thank you all for joining us in the Web Dev Bootcamp. Tonight, we'll be covering the basics of front-end development, focusing on JavaScript. This session is designed to give you the foundational skills needed to start building your own websites and getting creative. Now, let me introduce you to our speaker for the evening, Aditya, who is the web development lead of our club. Aditya has a strong passion for making optimized websites and a knack for making complex concepts easy to understand. He is here to guide us through the basics of web development and answer any questions you might have along the way. Feel free to ask questions, take notes, and most importantly, have fun learning. We hope this session will ignite your interest in web development and encourage you to explore further. Also, guys, we have enabled the option to unmute and in-call messages. So if any disturbance is caused, we'll disable the options. So please kindly cooperate. Without further ado, let's get started. Over to you, Aditya.
Thank you, Shreya. Welcome to all of you. Before we start, just get an idea of how much you guys know already. How many of you participated in yesterday's event? Can you all raise your hand? Oh, nice. So looks like most of you did participate in yesterday's event. Nice. Uh, okay, you guys can all drop your hands. So for today's event, we are going to continue with the website we built yesterday. So let me just take you through what we built yesterday first. Okay. We made a Connect 4 website and we also added styles to it to make it look good. Okay. We use live server to uh, open up the website. Let me move that here. Yes. And this is how the website looks like right now. Okay. So if any of you, even if you're bought up, I suggest uh, cloning this. I have hosted this on GitHub. So I suggest all of you clone this so that we can make sure that you and I are running with the same code. Okay. So before we start with other things, let me show you how to clone a GitHub repository. I hope all of you have a GitHub account. Is there anybody here without a GitHub account? Can you raise your hand? Okay. Uh, I think even you guys should be able to follow through with this part. I think you'll only get stuck in the end part. So for now, it's fine. But when you have your dinner break, make sure you download and you do not download, you create an account on GitHub. It's on github.com. As a developer, it's very important. I will share the screen now. Yeah. Now the screen is, I hope you guys can all see the screen. Okay. Whoever does not have a GitHub account already, make sure you create a GitHub account. It will be very important. Okay, especially as a developer, it's going to be very, very important for you guys. You can drop your hands. So now I'll show you how to clone a GitHub repository. Okay, what you do is, okay, first let me tell you what a GitHub repository is. So GitHub is basically cloud for code. Okay, almost all development that happens, at least in personal environments, everybody uploads their code on. Wait, can't hear. Is there anybody else who has that problem? Is my audio clear? Not audible. Okay. Uh, Hello, is it better now? Okay. I guess then that'll just might being weird. Yeah, I will send that repository link. You don't need to give, you can give any email, honestly, even your personal. So before I tell you exactly how to use GitHub, let me start off by telling you what GitHub is. Uh, GitHub is cloud for you to store your code. Okay. All and it's a and it lets you upload Git files. Now, what is Git? Git is version tracking. Now, version tracking sounds weird, right? So what is a version of a software? So suppose I'm building a site like the Connect 4 website we're building now. We're not going to build it all in one go, right? We will probably first make the HTML, then we'll make the CSS. Even now it's not audible. Hello? Oh, okay. First we'll make the HTML, then we'll make the CSS, and then we'd probably go on to make the JavaScript part, right? Now, suppose I make the HTML and CSS part, and I want to make sure I have this saved. What we can use is we can use a versioning software. Once we finish the HTML, CSS part, we save this on Git. Then once we finish the JavaScript part, we can add that as well. And now we can save it with all of this together. Okay. So what's the use of this? Suppose I'm building the JavaScript part, I mess it up really bad. Now nothing is working. Okay. If nothing is working, what can you do? You can just directly go back to this HTML and CSS part only. Okay, so that's like a very short introduction of Git. Git is a very beautiful thing. You'll use it a lot during development. So as of now, you don't really need it much. For now, what you'll need to know, you can also share your code using GitHub. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So you do something called cloning. Okay. So what you'll do is you'll run this command, git clone, and you'll put the link. So our repository is hosted at this link. I'll copy the URL and send it to you guys uh, on WhatsApp. Right. Let me open this. Yes. Yeah, that is the link. So how will you clone this? You'd clone this by running a command called git clone. Now, where will you run this command? Now, I want this stuff, the repository and the code I made. I want it to be in this folder. So I open command prompt here. How do I do that? Click on, if you're on Windows, click here, your uh, file manager, this bar. Okay. And wait, let me get rid of this thing. Yeah. I type CMD. Okay. This will open command prompt for me in this folder. Okay. After you do that, you can run this command git clone and you paste the link of the uh, repository that I gave it to you. When you press enter, it will create a folder called CodeCraze Live because that is the name of this GitHub repository. And in that folder, you will have three files. You'll have this .git, index.html, and styles.css. Some of you might not be able to see .git. That's because you will have, where is that? Hmm. Okay, there's a setting somewhere that I remember I switched to allow me to see hidden files. So if you don't have that enabled, you probably can't see that. Okay. Anyways, so at least you will have the index.html and the styles.css available. So I hope you guys all can go through with this so far. If you're still not able to do this, uh, there is this. You can just download the zip file from the link that I sent you. And when you download the zip file, you just get this as a zip file. You guys know how to use zip files. So I hope all of you have been able to clone the repository. If the can all of you raise your hand once you've cloned it? Okay, I'm just going to explain it again. I'll send you the code and like the command prompt thing as well. It's git clone and the link. You open command prompt in the folder you want. Let me delete this so that I can start off. So you click on this, your uh, file path here. You type cmd. This will open command prompt for you in this place. Okay. You don't have to worry about the disappearing part. That's just because it goes to my second monitor. Okay. And the command is git clone and the repository link. Okay. Okay, you guys can drop your hands. Um, I'll give you guys 1 minute to clone this. Oh, Git is not recognized. That means you don't have Git installed. Uh, then let me tell you this. Click on this code button, click on download zip. Okay. You'll get the file downloaded. You can extract it into the folder that you want it in. Okay. So these are your two options. Uh, if you are not having Git, make sure to follow that. I'll send you the zip file in WhatsApp as well if you guys are still stuck. Yeah, I hope now all of you have it. I'll still give you like 1 more minute now since you were stuck. Until then, let's see. While we wait, uh, follow my link for now because then we can make sure that you don't get any problems. Uh, I've sent the file on WhatsApp. Don't worry. The zip file for the code from yesterday's tutorial. And I suggest all of you do use the code from that I sent so that we don't have any issues while doing the JavaScript part. Now I'm going to guess that all of you have the code ready. You're all caught up to what we did yesterday. Can everybody give me like a thumbs up? Hmm. Okay, I realize it's difficult to track thumbs up. So everyone just raise your hand if you all have the code ready. Yes, so I'm waiting. Yes, you have to open the CodeCraze live folder. Now, once you guys have this thing downloaded, open this folder on VS Code. So, uh, uh, yeah, you open folder CodeCraze live or CodeCraze live main, whichever your extracted file is. Yeah, if you're getting Git is not recognized, don't use that method. Download the zip. The link is on WhatsApp and also the zip file is on WhatsApp. Use that. Okay, so that means you're caught up. The content in that file and using it is the same thing. Okay, download the zip file that I sent you and extract its content. That's all we have done so far. But okay, so now I'm going to start with this. You don't need the .git folder, don't worry. Okay. So let's start. Now, today's session, we are going to use JavaScript. Okay, JavaScript. Now, what do you use uh, JavaScript for? You can use it for multiple things. One thing is to reduce repetition. Okay, what do I mean by reduce repetition? If you see here, yesterday for our thing, we made 49 boxes, right, for our board, and we copy pasted 49 times. Which, I mean, for 49, it was already quite painful. Now imagine doing this for 200 divs. If you want to make it dynamic, you're just dead. So instead of doing that, we can use a for loop. Okay, because HTML is a scripting language. Okay, CSS is a styling language, but the JavaScript is a programming language. Okay. Uh, I don't think we'll be able to teach you to use GitHub completely, but maybe another workshop another day. But I'll send you material on it later. Okay. So JavaScript is a programming language, and we use it. One way is to reduce repetition. Another way that we can use JavaScript is to add functionality. Okay. So let's look at our Connect 4 website. Okay. We already looked at how we have a lot of repetition in this with respect to boxes, right? Now, where do we have functionality needed? Functionality can be things like clicking here and having a coin pop drop in, right? It can also be uh, something like checking if the person won the game or not, checking if the person has restarted the game or not. Things like that is what we can get by using JavaScript. Okay. So now, how can you use JavaScript? There's two ways. Okay. There's two ways to use JavaScript. One is a script tag. You can put JavaScript code between a script tag. Like if you were in yesterday's tutorial, you would have seen I'd use style here, right? To show you an example of how style works. You can use JavaScript like that as well. Usually your best practice is to put your JavaScript scripts in the body, at the end of body, so that it loads at the end. Okay. So you could use something like script and then console.log. Console.log is like the JavaScript version of print. Okay. So now if I refresh this page and check my console, I will probably have my live server died. Of course it died. Yeah. If I check in my console now, it has high. Okay. So that is one way of doing JavaScript. But then if you have a lot of code, then you just have one huge file, right? That's a pain. So what you do instead is you make a script, you write src equal to, and you give the location of the file, just like how we did for style. For style, we did styles.css. For this, you're going to call it index.js. Okay. And then I'll create a file called index.js. So now I have a JavaScript file and it's connected to my HTML like this. Uh, Kovind, what do you mean by give CMD prompt? Okay, so this is the way to link a JavaScript file in. Have all of you linked your JavaScript file to your HTML? Nice. Uh, COVID, the CMD prompt is given in WhatsApp, but I hope you just did extract so that you can follow up with what's to come next. Just extract the zip file I sent. It's the same content. Okay. Now, since all of you have linked this, you can drop your hands. Let's first test it out. Okay. Let's do document dot write hello world. Okay. When you do this, you should have hello world written at the bottom here. Can everybody do that? Check if your JavaScript has been linked properly. And whoever is using live server, this will automatically update. If you're not using live server, uh, how you can open your file is reminding you again, just double click this. Your file will be open. You can just refresh it every time you make a change. I'm going to use live server because it'll do that same work for me automatically. Okay. So now we have our JavaScript link, right? So what is the first problem we have? Wait, let's go back to this. What it can do is reduce repetition. We do have repetition, right? So let's bring it down. Before that, let me just screenshot this for you and send it on WhatsApp. And also, organizers, can you help the people on the WhatsApp group with whatever error he had? Okay, back to this. Um, what does JavaScript do again? It lets us reduce repetition. So first, let's fix this issue, right? You have 49 lines of just div class box. That's a pain. So we'll just get rid of all of this. Okay. Now, how do we add a box into this in JavaScript? So let me explain about that. So what we do is we can use a for loop. How to create JavaScript? You just create a file and call it index.js. We can decide the position of hello world. I'll tell you about that now. Okay. Uh, to anybody who missed it so far, add this tag to the bottom of your HTML, just to the end of your body. Okay. This will link a file called index.js and then create a file called index.js. Okay. So what are we going to do now? How many boxes did we have? Somebody sent a message in the chat telling me how many boxes we had. Connect 4 is a 7 by 7 grid. So how many boxes is that? 49. Yes. So I'm sure you guys used Python. So in Python, you usually do for I in range 0, 40, right? And 49. That's what you would do, right? In JavaScript, oops. Yeah. In JavaScript, this same for loop is called like this, for int, not int. Let I equal to 0. Okay. What are the meaning of this? You're creating a variable called I and giving it a value of 0 at first. Okay. The second thing is your condition, I less than 49. Okay. And then you do I plus plus. What I plus plus? You're incrementing I by 1. Okay. So let me screenshot this and explain it to you guys on Paint as well. So hmm, you, yeah. Ah, hostel. Give me a second. We lost power, so I'll just move things to this display. Yeah, I hope you guys can all see this. Yes, okay. So what is this? Let I equal to 0. This part is telling me create a variable called I and give it an initial value of 0. Okay. This is a variable and this is my initial value. Okay. I less than 49. This is a condition to check. So now this condition is going to be checked every time my loop is running. Okay. And this means I will become I plus 1. I increases by 1 every turn. Okay. So what's happening? I start off with I is equal to 0. Then I go to I is equal to 1, 2, 3, and so on until eventually my I becomes 49, at which point I come out of this loop. Okay. So I is less than 49 so that we can have 49 boxes because 0 is the first one, 1 is the second one. And so if you go like that, it'll run up to 48, which is the 49th box. And then at I equal to 49, the loop breaks. Okay. Hmm. Let me send this as well. Yeah. Okay. So let me go back to sharing my code. Uh, I have to move that also back to this display. Yeah. Okay. I hope this is visible to you guys now. So this is the code so far. So what are we going to do now? Okay. We have to tell it to come to this board element, right? JavaScript doesn't know what this element is. How will it find it? We have given it an ID of board, right? This is exactly why we gave it the ID board. What we do in the start, let's tell it const board. What is const now? Const is a constant. It's something that's never going to change. Okay. So my board is going to be a constant thing. I'm going to say that is document.get element by ID board. Okay. So what is the meaning of this? When JavaScript reads this line, what it's going to do is first going to search through this entire HTML that we have. It's going to see if there is a element with ID of board. This one has the element main title. It doesn't care. Now it found it, ID board. So now HTML JavaScript knows that anytime I say board, I'm referring to this. Okay. And now we can just wait. I hope you guys are able to understand so far. Give me like a hand raise if you understood so far. Nice. Looks like a lot of you have understood and I don't see any more doubts. So I'll continue. So now we have uh, we got this board. Now we have to put an element in the board, right? Now, if you want to put an element there, we'll have to first create it. So I'm going to create an element. I'm going to put it to a constant. I'll say const div. Okay, now let's not call it div. Let's call it box. Okay, equal to document dot create element. And what was the type of this element? It was a div. Okay, so we are creating a div, and this div is not going to be anywhere in this HTML page for now. It's just created. Okay, now we can put uh, board dot append child div and not div box. So what are these two lines doing? It finds board, it creates this box and adds 49 and puts this to board. And now it does this 49 times. Okay. So if I inspect this page now and get into board, as you can see, there's 49 divs created. Okay. but then we can't see the div itself, right? Why? That's because we have not given it the CSS properties. How did we give it the CSS property last time? We gave it the class box, right? So now we'll do that as well. Let's add the class box to this. Okay. So box dot class name equal to box. Done. Now why did all of this suddenly pop up? Because we found board by using this line of code. Okay. So now your JavaScript knows when I say board, I mean this element. Then inside that 49 times, what did I do? I created this element I created a div and I called it box. I gave it a class of box and I added it to board. So now 49 times it created a div, gave it the class box, added to board. Nice, right? So now done. That's so fast. Now instead of having to paste 49 times, I just have it done automatically by JavaScript. My code goes from 49 extra lines here to 4 lines of code here. So that is the first way of using JavaScript. Anybody have any doubts so far? Have all of you been able to catch up so far? What does append child do? Append child adds it to the end of board. Okay. So let me show it to you in Paint. Let me show it to you. So this is our board, right? So the first time my for loop is running, let's show this here. Yeah. The first time my for loop runs, what it does, it creates an element called box. Okay. It gives it the class name of box. And then when it sees board.append child box, it takes this element and puts it into board. So it will take up this place. Now the second time it runs, it creates this element again and then puts it here. Append child means it goes to the end. So it's going to just do that 49 times. 4, 5, 6, 7. And it just does that 49 times so that we end up with this grid here. Were you able to understand? If your live server is not working, you can just do as I said, double click the index.js. Every time you make a change, just refresh. When and all should we use semicolon? Semicolon will be there at the end of uh, every line where you're giving a command. Okay. So like here, I tell JavaScript that make this board. So I create a command. But whenever I start a loop, I won't have a semicolon. So I won't have a semicolon here, but I will have a semicolon everywhere here. An easy way to remember it, if it's not a for or a while, have a semicolon, or a function, have a semicolon. Okay. Yes. Can you paste JS code? Okay, I'll paste you the JS code. Also, anybody else here from hostel? Yeah, there's no power, right? Or is it just my room that's fucked? My live server isn't loading. Yeah, just run normal. Just double click the index.html. How does div gets created in the next line after 7 boxes? That is because of the CSS that we wrote yesterday. That is this. We have made the board into a grid, a 7 by 7 grid. Because of which after 7 rows, it goes to the next. I mean, 7 columns, it goes to the next row. Can you see the board on the blue taskbar on the bottom of your page? Yes, shows me that here. How does JavaScript know that we're referring to an HTML page? JavaScript doesn't know which HTML page it is linked to. The HTML page knows which JavaScript it is linked to. Okay. Now suppose if I created another index2.html. That's actually a good question. Okay. Now in this, if I created a div called ID equal to board, okay, and I added the same script, uh, what do you think would happen? Let's open this file. Of course, that also opened my second display. Yeah. If I open this file, hmm, why did you open now? Yeah. If I open this file and inspect it, if you see, JavaScript did the same thing. It created 49 divs with a class box. Because, like I said, JavaScript does not know what HTML it is referring to. Only the HTML knows which JavaScript it is calling. Okay. And that is actually one more reason why we create a separate JavaScript file that we can refer to it again. Could you please paste HTML code once? Yes. Okay. Some people have power, some. Yeah, D1 has been like this since morning, I swear. Okay. And also it's 7:45. So we will continue with like main JavaScript programming after lunch. So I think somebody had one of our organizers had something to speak. So sorry about that. I forgot who had to speak. Yeah, I think Sairam was about to speak. I'll hand it over to him for now. Until he starts speaking, let me continue with doubts. Why do you use Firefox? Well, I use Firefox because, in my experience, it's just faster than Chrome and it makes a lot of things easier for me. It looks a lot better also in inspect. But I mean, finally, it's a preference thing. I just like how Firefox works and it does not eat my RAM. CSS code is the same as yesterday, bro. Just I extract the uh, zip folder I sent. Okay, wait. I think Sairam now has presenter. Sairam, do you have presenter access? So far, what have we done is we have taken Java, we have used JavaScript to shorten the length of our HTML. We did this repetitive task of having 79 boxes within 4 lines of JavaScript. Okay, so that's what we have done so far. You don't get any grades. Are you sure you copied the folder exactly? I customize a browser open page with extensions. You don't have the grids. Okay. Let me send you like this thing as well. Uh, okay. Also, girls, if you have to rush for your meet, you can go for it. Okay. Uh, hostel people are very annoying if you are late.
You guys, can you see my screen?
Yeah, Saram, we can see your screen.
So, hey guys, this is Sai Ram, and I'm the competitive programming lead at CodeCraze IIT Chennai. So, I'm thrilled to introduce you guys to Code and Conquer event. So, this is a 2-day event, overnight stay that's happening at the MJ Auditorium at IIT Chennai. So, it's happening this weekend, and if you're really interested about web development, backend systems, or hacking, this event is something that you wouldn't want to miss. So it would start on 2 p.m. on 8th Sunday, and it will go on till 9th September, which is till 4 p.m. So it's a 2 days event, and you can stay on for overnight. And The exciting thing is that the event would be conducted by Vishal Kumar. So he's a fourth year senior. Now he's placed at UBS. And the second, he'll be teaching you about Node.js, Express, and MongoDB. So full MERN stack. And for the second day, we will have Abhishek Kumar. So like he's a winner of national hackathons, and he'll be teaching you web exploitation. So what you would learn in this event is that you would be making a complete MERN stack app. So what a MERN stack app is that you would have learned how to create a website, right? So you would be learning how to make a modular website, something with backend, something which with which you can use database like a full e-commerce website, something like that. And on the second day, you would be learning about web exploitation, and Abhishek would be teaching you to hack a website live. So what do you get for this is that you'll get some e-certificates and which you can put it in your LinkedIn. It will be really it will be showcasing your skills. And for refreshments, you don't have to worry. We provide you for the overnight stay. And also, if you are having any classes, like don't worry about Monday classes. We will give you OD. And after both the speaker sessions, you guys would have an interesting capture the flag events. Like we have some prize pool for which if you guys win, you'll get the prices for this capture the flag event. And it's just 199 rupees only. Like don't think that you have to pay 199 or something like you're paying for something you're going to learn and like uh, even something you eat would gonna be taking 100 rupees. Like it's just gonna cost you like two snacks or something. So don't think too much about spending something. Like you wouldn't regret joining this event. So you can scan this QR code for joining the event. And yeah, that would be it. Okay, guys, so you guys can go on a break and we'll resume the session, the next session, and you guys can leave.
Guys, join back
And don't
8:45.
forget to register for this event. Waiting for you to see you guys there.
Hello, are you guys here? Hmm. Looks like even the hostel current problem is fixed. So this part of the session should probably be much better. Okay. Uh, Before we start, I think first half of the session was quite fast. So we'll have a quick recap of that as well. And uh, I mean, now even the break is over, so I hope all of you are minimum caught up to what we did yesterday. So I will explain to you guys what we did so far again, and then let's see how it goes. Okay, before we do everything, let me confirm everything is working fine. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Uh, okay, nice. And I'm clearly audible, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, nice. So what did we do so far? We had content that we made yesterday. We copied that. I hope all of you guys are caught up with that. We are not going to do that again. Okay. We opened our website. We noticed that we had put a div called box, and we had done this 49 times. Okay. We just had this like something like this. So, painful code. Okay. I will send JS code. I'm going to do it from the start again. Okay. It was something like this. 86 lines of HTML, painful. So we decided we'll fix this. Because why did we decide to do that? Because one of the things, as we had looked into this before, was here. Let me find my screenshot again. Yes. So one of the things we did, uh, what is the point of JS? One thing was reducing repetitions, right? So first thing we're going to do, we are going to reduce repetitions. How are we going to do that? We have 49 boxes here. Very annoying, right? So what we do, first of all, remove that. We don't like repetitions. What are we going to do to fix that? We add the script tag here with a src. Src means source. Okay. So this is the source, which is this file called index.js. Where is this index.js going to be? We created that as a new file here. Okay. Now we created that as a new file. And now what is the first thing we are going to do? We just discussed it, right? We are going to put 49 boxes in bold. Now we know that bold is this. Okay. How does JavaScript know that it bold refers to this? It can find it by its IE. And how do we do that? We use this uh, function in JavaScript called getElementById. Okay. So const board equal to document.getElementById board. What does that mean? We create a constant called bold. Okay. That anywhere in the rest of my code, I can use bold. And whenever I say bold, it means the element whose ID is bold, which if you look in my HTML is this div. Okay. Everyone is fine with everything we have done so far. Give me like a yes in the chat or unmute and say yes. What?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Const bold is telling that I'm creating a constant whose name is bold. Constant is, you know what is a variable, right? A variable that does not change is a constant. Think of it like that. Okay. So now I have to do the actual putting the box inside the board. So how am I going to do that? I use a for loop. Okay. How does this for loop work? That is this other image that I shared. This is how a for loop works. The first one is let I equal to 0, where I'm creating a variable called I and putting its original value as 0. Okay. And then I less than 49. So this loop is going to keep running again and again and again until I reaches a value of 49 or more. Okay. And I plus plus. This is going to happen every time the loop runs. I plus plus means I is getting increased by 1. Okay. So what's going to happen? First, I is 0. So 0 is less than 49? Yes. So what's going to happen? You create this box. You create an element called box. Okay. It won't include 49 because I less than 49, right? So you create an element called box. You give it a class name of box. What is the class name? Classes. This CSS thing that we have been using so far. And so I'll tell you what's the output. So for this, when I do this, I just have a div. Okay. This creates a div like this. It is not going to be in my HTML. It's just created and just sitting there. Okay. Next one, we write box.className equal to box. So now this div that we created will get changed to this. Okay. So that's what dot class name equal to box is doing. And then what is next? Board.append child box. What is the meaning of that? That is what I was showing in Paint towards the end, right? This is your board. You first create a box. You give it the uh, class of box. And then the third line, board.append child box, means that this box is getting put into the board here. And then because the board is a grid layout, it's going to, when you keep doing it, second one will go here, third one will go here, fourth one will go here, fifth one will go here, sixth one will go here.
Sir, one doubt.
So,
What
yeah,
is the difference between append child and only append?
uh, append child means you add it as a child element to it, which means you add it inside board. Okay. Uh, Append also, I'm not exactly sure what that will do, but append child, what it does is it basically does this. Okay, this is basically what append child is doing. And the next time you call append child, it's going to add it again. Okay, and you're going to do this 49 times, but using JavaScript. Okay, so this is put it inside the board. Okay, and now with this, you put 49 boxes inside the board. We did the first important thing, which is uh, from here, reducing the repetition. Okay. Are all of you able to understand so far? If you have any doubts, ask in the chat. If not, give me like a hand raise so that I know everybody understood. Only 4 hand raise. What is nice? Now it's going on. Okay, nice. Looks like you guys are able to understand. If you aren't able to catch up, oh, the slash slash command is something that you can use to write comments. Okay, you guys can drop your hands. So now what we're going to do next is add functionality to this. Okay, so what is the meaning of functionality? Functionality means making the code do something. What is the functionality that you need? Yes, you should remove the 49 lines in HTML. Okay. What's the next thing we're going to do? We need to add functionality. What functionality does the Connect 4 game have? The first thing we'll need is if I click on this row, a coin should get dropped into this row, right? If I click on this row again, a coin gets dropped in again to the next one above that, right? So same thing here everywhere. When you click on a column, you want a coin to drop into that column. So in our HTML, what is this thing going to be? We have something called, uh, let me just show that. We have boxes, which you guys just saw. And the next thing we have is circle, okay, which will create a circle. And if we give it something like red, wait, it's not circle, it's coin. We have a CSS class called coin, okay, which will create this. And then we have the color red or yellow to give it the color. Okay, so now how do we do this? What do we have to do? We have to find, if I click this column, I have to find the bottommost uh, box in that column, and I have to add this div to it, right? That is what we are going to have to do. So let me remove this. So how are we going to do that? Let's once discuss that as just like in Paint. So we have a column. What are the first? Let's break down this task. Okay, we have a bunch of rows in it. It's going to be 7, but yeah, I don't want to draw 7 properly. What we have to do first is find the bottommost box in that. And then once we find this bottommost box, we want to put a coin in there, right? And the coin will be of whosever chance it is. So what all things do we have to do? Bottommost row is one thing. Put coin. Is the next thing. And give color to the coin. These are the 3 steps that we need, right? So how are we going to do these 3 steps? We first start with putting a coin inside there. How do we put a coin inside this? We don't know which element belongs to which column, right? So we need some way to identify each box. How will we do that now? Any guesses? How can we make, how can we find a way to identify each box?
Maybe
Uh,
the
by
index of
by we can index, like in Python there is an index 0, 1, 2, 3. Maybe here there are indexes.
That's a good try. Okay. But in this, there is no index as such. So what we can do is is give each box an index, right? Because this is not a list. Like in Python, you do in index. So in this, how can we like in Python, it already has an index because it's in a list. In this, we will give each thing an index. Okay. So we'll say box dot. Okay, wait. Yeah, we'll say box dot index equal to I. Okay. So now each box will have an index called I. But that doesn't make sense, right? Because there's no index thing in HTML. But what we can use instead? We can use box.id equal to I. The ID is unique to each, and every box will have its index as its ID. Okay. So that is how we can do it. Now, this will let the game know which index I've clicked. Okay. So let us do something for that as well. Let's make it such that
Sir,
if I click on a box,
one
yeah.
doubt. So one doubt, sir. In here we have 7 by 7 grid, no? So is there any
Yes.
possible way we can align it two variables such that if I say 6 comma 6 it will go to the 6th column and 6th row? It would be more easy and more.
Yes, we can do that. And actually, that is what we're going to do eventually. So, good idea because that's actually what we're going to do. So, before we go to that, let's find out how we can check this ID. Okay. We want it so that whenever I click on this, I can know which column this is in. Right. So, for that, what we have to do? we want each box to also know which column it is in, right? So what we can do for that is we can make another constant. We'll not make a constant, we'll make an array. Okay. And we are going to call it let pieces equal to a list. Okay. What are this? What are the meaning of this? What this means is we created an array called pieces, and we are going to use this to track each box there is. Okay. So every time I create a box, I'm going to add it to pieces. What is the meaning? What is the meaning of this line? This line means that for this pieces array that I create, every time I create a box, I'm going to add this box also to this array. You guys know what an array is, right? If you don't know what an array is, it's a bunch of, it's like a list in Python. Okay. Uh, in the backend, it means it's having continuous memory, but I don't think you need to know that right now. So it's like a list in Python. What are we going to do now with this? Let us
Sir, what does pieces dot push do?
pieces.push means I add this box to the end of pieces. Okay. So if it has a box 1 and a box 2, now when you add your third box, it gets added to the end as box 3. Okay. So I'll write that also in the comment. Adds your the box to the end of pieces. Alright. Okay. So now what are we going to do? Let's console.log pieces. Okay, console.log, what does it do? It prints it in your console. So let's go to our console. What is pieces now? It's an array of 49 boxes. If you see, so each box as it got added to this array. And the last box is the one with the ID 48. Right. So now we still don't know which column each box is in, right? Now we have a way to refer to each box afterwards. That's very nice. But we still don't know which column the box is in. So what can we do for that? We can use something called data set. It lets us store data inside each box, like inside each element. What we're going to do for that, box.dataset dot call equal to. Now what can we give here? We need to know which column this box is in, right? Now, one way you can do it is you can use mathematics. You can make it I percentage 7, which will give us our column. Okay. But I mean, as a beginner, do you really want to use maths here? What instead you can do is instead of making it a 49 long for loop, you make this for loop from i's from 0 to 7, and you make it for j equal to 0, j less than 7, j plus plus. What is going to happen now? This gives me the same output. How come? Because my I is going from 0 to 7. Okay. And each time my I is increasing, it's running this J loop also 7 times. So what will happen? When I is equal to 0, this entire row is made. Okay. When I is equal to 1, this entire row is made. Okay. So my row for this box.row, box.dataset.row will be I, which is the row for this. Box.dataset.call is equal to J, which is the column. Okay. I want you guys to know this row and this call are just variables that I am making and storing it in each div. Sounds very confusing, right? Let me show you how it's working. Check this out. So in my pieces, each box has a data called row, which will tell you which row it is in. and it'll also have a call. It will tell you which column it is in. Okay. With this, now you can find coordinates for every single box in this table. Is anybody able to follow so far?
Sir, can you share your HTML code?
Yeah, I'll share you the code, and as you can see it yourselves, I will uh, run you through this as well. Yes. Okay, so what am I doing? Let me explain it again. Okay, so let me also have paint ready here. Okay, so what are we doing? We are going to have our board, right? For I is equal to 0 to 7. So initially our I is 0. Okay, this is going to be our I value. This is going to be our J value. Okay, so this starts with I is equal to 0. This starts with J is equal to 0. So J is also equal to 0. Okay, what's going to happen at that time? We're going to create a box. Okay, so we create a box. Now, this box, uh, what are we going to do for this box? We are going to tell it your row is going to be I, which is 0. Okay, and then we also tell this box your column is going to be J, which is also 0. Now what are we doing? We are giving it a class name of box. And now this box, who we told his row is 0 and his column is 0, we add it to our board. And when you add it to the board, it's going to go to 0, 0. Okay. Can you guys tell me where the next box is going to go? Somebody unmute and tell me where would the next box go? Will it go in this position 1, this position 2, position 3, or in some other random position? Let all of them be 4.
I guess 2.
Yes, it's going to go to position 2. What is going to be the coordinates for position 2? It's going to be 0, 1, right? And what is the next iteration of this loop going to be? I is 0, and this for loop is going to go to the next one, right? Your j will become 1, which means what? Your box has a row of, so again, you're going to create box. You're going to tell it your row is going to be 0 because it's still in this row. Its column is now 1 because it's come here, right? So row is I, your column is j. And then you're going to give it the same class name box and then add it to your board. As well as when you're adding it to your board, you're also going to add it to your array. So this box not only goes to board, it also comes here. Okay. Are you guys able to understand this? Give me like a hand raise if you all understood. If you didn't understand anything, sure, ask in chat or unmute and ask. Your grid is empty. Do you have all the styles? If your grid is empty, then you probably messed up something in this, or check if your file name for your JavaScript is index.js and in the same folder.
Can you just tell me what the log one console.log?
Okay, console.log is just going to print it. It's like print statement in Python. I just use it to get output here
Okay, okay.
to get this. Okay, that I can refer to it and show you guys.
Thank you.
So explaining it again, my I loop is going to happen once. Every time I loop is happening, your J loop is going to happen 7 times. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, 7 won't come because J has to be less than 7, right? 6. And after that, your I increments. I will become 1. J will go from 0, 1, 2, like that. Okay, in that way you have 49 things, and each time it's going to point to the coordinate of where your piece is going to go. Okay. And every time you create a piece, you're going to push it into your board, as well as you're going to push it onto this. Wait, why does your grid have circles in there? Are you sure you cleared your index.html? Make sure you're using this code. And make sure you save your code and run the code. Make sure your styles.css is also correct. I've sent all 3 files. So make sure this is what your content is like. If you are getting the wrong output, you can catch up quickly like this. Okay. Make sure your file names are also like this. Your file name should be exactly the same, even including capitalization. Okay. So now we are adding these things into our board. Right. Have all of you been able to understand so far? Give me a hand raise if you understood. Only 8. Okay, nice. More and more people are understanding. Fine. So that is how we added all these boxes now into our grid. So we added all the 49 boxes and gave each of them a row and a column. Okay, that's what we have been able to do so far. If any of you have doubts to ask this, yes, that is how it should look. It should look like this, which is what you have. Congrats. I have sent the HTML, by the way. Okay, now let's continue this. We added all of our pieces. Now we know which column a piece is in, right? Now what is the next thing we need to do? We need to know when somebody has clicked a box, right? So how do we know if somebody has clicked a box? We can do something called box.onClick. Okay, this is a function. And when on clicking, what function should run? Let's create a function for that. Click. Okay. And this thing will take a argument called event. So what is the meaning of that? So whenever, so let's call this here. So what is the meaning of this? This means whenever the box is clicked, call the function. Okay. You don't have to copy my comments, by the way. So keep that in mind. So whenever somebody clicks on the box, this function is going to be called. Let's .log. Let's print hi every time somebody clicks a box. Okay. Let's look at this. I click this. It prints hi. I click this. It still prints hi again. Okay. So did you guys understand this on click property? Give me a hand raise if you understood on click. We can't use on click on CSS. On click is something that only JavaScript can do. And yes, I remember also. Okay. I see less hands this time. What's up? What issue did you get while trying? Okay, now I got my hands back. Okay, all 10 of you. Yes. Show it once more. Okay. So what I did was I wrote this box.onClick equal to clicked. What's the meaning of that? Whenever somebody clicks a box, then whatever's in the function called clicked will be executed. Okay. So I wrote this function called clicked. Okay. After write event in brackets because that's an argument that goes to every on-click function. Okay. So this is a requirement. So function clicked event console.log hi. So what I'm doing is every time this function is called, I print hi in my console. Karthik, are you able to understand now? Okay. So now just knowing that a box is clicked is not enough, right? We also have to know which box was clicked. How can we identify that? We can identify that as uh, console.log event.target. Okay. This is a thing. This is why you get event. Event.target will tell you which box was clicked. Okay. So if I console check it, I click this event.target will give me that box. Okay. So now suppose I click this box, I get this as my event.target. Okay. So from this, we can pull out all the information that we need. What information can we pull? One main thing we need to know, know now is we need to know that things row and column, right? So event.target.dataset.row. Why are we doing this? Because we saved I mean it's row and dataset.row and it's column in dataset.column, right? So now we're accessing that in this dataset.column. So what is the point of this? Now, whenever I click on something, it'll tell me which row and which column I clicked. So this is 6, 6. This is 0, 0. Are you guys able to follow so far? I'll send you the code once more. Can everybody who are able to follow so far raise your hand? Hey, hand raise dropped to 9. Oh, okay, that's a lot of hand raises. Nice. How did number jump so fast? I'm getting like 10 till now, bro. Wow. Nice. I'm happy. Okay. Nice. One sec. I have to give attendance. Give me like a minute. Okay, I'm back. You guys can drop your hands,
Sir,
by the
can
way.
you explain function click event at block? I did not understand what is
Okay.
block.
Function clicked event is I'm creating a function. Okay. It takes a variable called event in it. Okay. Event is something that is given to every function that is triggered on click. Now event will tell you more details about why your function was called. Okay. So one thing that we are going to use in this is event.target. Event.target is what? It is the uh, HTML tag that is calling your function, right? So suppose I click on this, my event.target is going to be this box. If I clicked here, because I clicked on this box, my event.target is that div. Are you able to understand so far?
Then what does dataset represent?
Dataset is what I wrote here. Any properties I gave it here, that's I'm accessing it by using this dataset.row. Because event.target will only tell me which element was clicked, right? The element doesn't know which row and which column it is in. I am giving it in the dataset when I created the element, telling you which row and which column you're in. Okay. Yeah, event.target is a generic call for that event, for that specific function. Yes, that's a good way of saying it. Okay. Now that we found out which element is getting clicked, we can now what is the point of getting this? We have to put a coin there, right? So let's make a div. So let's say const. Okay, we don't need this line anymore. So we create a const.
One more doubt.
Yeah.
Why use constant? Why not let or where or
You can use let as well. Const is just a nice thing to use because you're never going to change it. Uh, I will explain that also as well then. So const means you will never change it. And let and var means you will change it. Okay. Okay. Now what? So we created this. Now what we're going to do is create a new div. Okay. We are going to give it coin dot class. What are the classes we are going to give it? Going to give it coin class, right? And what are we going to do with this? We are going to event dot target dot append child coin. What is happening when we do this? We are going to append this coin into the target of the event. So if I click this, a coin gets added here. If I click this, a coin gets added here. Click this, a coin gets added here. Okay. So event dot target, yeah, that one's done. Okay, we let you in, Aditya. Is the box meant to be highlighted after clicking? No. So it's better to just use let and var at all cases. Uh, I mean, it will still work if you use var everywhere, but it's better to use the correct term for the correct places. Can you explain the coin.className line? Coin.className line is telling that for this event element that we created called coin, give it the class of coin. So for example, when we created this div here called box, okay, that just created this empty div, right? When we did box.className box, it gave it this class of box as well. So if you see, if I remove this, you can't see the coin because it doesn't have the class coin in. But if I do add this, uh, and I click here, now you can see that's the coin. Okay. Now this is not what you want this thing to do, right? You don't want Connect 4 to just drop a coin wherever you click. In Connect 4, it should go to the bottom here. Even if I click here, it should just go here. So how do I do that? How I can do that is by using as the class coin defined. That is defined in my styles. We did that yesterday. Okay, so we are going to have to put it at the bottom of the column, right? Now, how do we do that? We run another for loop. Okay, so for int I equal to 0, not int I, sorry, let I equal to 0, I less than 7, I plus plus. What is this? We are going to go through all of these. Okay. And what is our aim? Our aim is to find the first instance of this while going from down to up, where there is no coin in it, right?
Sir,
Yeah.
one doubt. Rather than creating a coin every time, can't we just create it once and then move it into different grids?
But then if you play 3 different chances, I want 3 different coins created, right?
But like, can't we just like do that if we click one and the first one that disappears?
Hmm, you could do that, but then you'll still end up with the same logic, right? You're just changing it from disappearing to hiding.
But like, aren't we saving computational memory and power? Because
You're actually wasting computation, right? What if it was a game where my player is horrible? He just plays like this and he wins in 8 turns. Why am I rendering all these extra coins? So how much computation we waste is a matter of perspective.
okay, so got it.
Yes. Append child adds the coin as a child to the box class. After it doesn't, it creates the child object already, right? You created child object here and then puts it inside the parent box space. Yes. Wait, actually, yeah. Yeah, first, as you said first, it adds the coin as a child to box. Okay, now that we have that, let's see. Now we are going to go through this entire column. How do we tell programmatically go through the entire column? What is the index here? This was 0, right? Index here, this was 1, right? Like in pieces. Uh, yeah, let's console.log pieces once. This is the array that we made to track all the divs, right? So at index 0 in pieces, we have 0 comma 0. Index 1 is going to be 0 comma 1, right? And index 7 is going to be 1 comma 0, right? So how can you find out which row and which column it is in? So we can say that, oh, I didn't need to minimize that. Yeah, we can say that for every index in pieces, okay, that is equal to the row into 7 plus the column, right? Let's check that once for everything. Let's check some random boxes. This box, index 9 is 1 into 7 plus 2, right? Or let's check index 45. 6 into 7. What is 6 into 7? Someone say it fast. Chat or speak. What is 6 into 7? Hello. Yeah, 42. And plus 3. What do we get? Hello. Yeah, 45. So that's the same as our index. Great. So now we have the index as well. So we found out what's the relation between the index of the element in our pieces array and its row and column, right? So if I tell you guys the row and column of something, you can tell me what index it is in, right? So this is in row 6, right? And column 3. Am I right? Because this starts from 0. Like, let me screenshot this. Okay. Now tell me, what is this? What is the row for this? Somebody unmute. Any of you? Anybody ready to tell me what's the row and column for this? Unmute or send in chat. Nobody's unmuted. Is it difficult for you to follow? 4 comma 4. Uh, 4 comma 4 would have been correct if we were starting our count from 1. But since this is programming, we start from 0. So which row is this? Is 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So row number 3, I is equal to 3. And from here it is 0, 1, 2, 3. So our j is equal to 3. And when it is 3 comma 3, what is our index going to be? Yes, Gautam, you're right. 3 into 7 plus 3, which means our index is going to be 7, 14, 21 plus 3, 24. Are all of you guys able to understand? If you're able
Sir,
to
can you
understand,
explain what you did in last 2 minutes? Because
okay,
so can you explain what you did in last 2 minutes because the net was gone?
okay. So what we did just now was we found out how to find the index based on something's row and column. Okay. So we saw that for every element in this, the index is going to be row into 7 plus column. Okay. Why is that so? Because when you start from here 0, 1, 2, 3, that till 7, till 6 it will go. And then the next one starts from 7, 8, it will go till 13. Then it starts from 14 here, right? So any block, its index is going to be row into 7 plus column. So then what did we decide? We decided to take an example of this place. Okay. This is at row 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So it's at row equal to 3. Okay. And it's at column 0, 1, 2, 3. So it's at column 3, which is 7 into 3, 21 plus 3, 24. Index 24. Okay. Were you able to understand, Patel? Hello? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Understood.
Okay. So what we are going to do is we are going to check every element in this column. Okay. So how do you check every element in this column? We know the column for this by event.target.dataset.call, right? Let's save this as a variable as well. Okay. So I created, I'm saving the column as the column for this event and for the button I click. Okay, we don't need this anymore. Yeah. Now, for what is going to be the index for this? Okay, do we start from here or do we start from here? We start from here. So this is where the first piece should fall, right? So what is going to be the place for this? Let's change this to I is equal to 6, right? Because this is row number 6. And we are going to check all the way until row number 0. So I is less than or equal, greater than or equal to 0, right? I will send you the JS code, one sec. I is greater than or equal to 0 and I minus minus. Hostel Wi-Fi is down now. This is the JavaScript code. Basically, what we did so far is finding the index from the column and row. So we start with I equal to 6, which is the last row, and we keep going up until we reach row number 0. Okay. And we are doing that with this for loop. So for each of these, we are going to, how do you find which piece that is? Let's print it. Pieces. What was the index? Row into 7 plus column, right? So not this. So if I click this, why am I getting undefined? Interesting. Okay, that's weird. Okay, can someone help me find out what is wrong here? Oh, I'm getting such big numbers. Why? Oh, JavaScript. Yeah. Can someone guess why?
Can you ask the question again?
Over here, when I do I star 7 plus call, what I'm ending up getting is 7 into I, and then call goes to the side here. Oh, hostel Wi-Fi went down. Yeah. So why is this happening? It's because call is saved as a string. Okay. So for that, you'll have to know what is data types. Let me explain data types. And for everybody else who got stuck, basically all we did is index equal to row star 7 plus call. Okay. Is my screen sharing lagging a lot for everyone? Oh, it's paused for you guys. Let me see if I can fix that. Is my audio clear though?
I think it's a problem only for hostel guests because like I'm at my home and I can hear everything fine.
Okay. Wait, I'm typing one now. Did it show up at the same time as I said it? Hmm. Looks like a lot of you guys are having network issues. Let's see then. Give me a second. Let me discuss. Hmm. Okay, looks like since you guys have like a lot of people are complaining about network issues, we are discussing on that. So we'll let you know once we have a answer. Oh, so that's what's happened. Transformer blew up. Okay. Until we reach a decision, I'll just continue. I'll explain what we did so far. Okay. So we found out that this is a string, so you have to change that. Hmm. JS basic functionality. Till then, hmm. Okay, wait, guys, hold on for a minute. We are looking into the issue. So while we look into that, yeah, I'll talk to you about JS basics. Okay. I'll teach you about this thing of data types. Okay. What are data types? Data types are telling you the types of data that we can have. What kinds of data can you have? You can have int, float, stuff like that. These are like the most common ones. these are used for numbers. Okay. Int is for integers. And float is used for fractions. Okay. What comes after that? We have another data type, string. Okay, the next data type is string. What is a string? A string is all your characters. Okay, characters like Aditya, all your words. And your string can also still be things like the number 1, 2, 3, stuff like this. Okay, so I mean, I know screen sliding, we are looking into it. Oh, you can't see or hear the session well. Guys, all of you check your WhatsApp. Hmm. Why we take the decision list is to random time pass here then. You guys understood data types? Give me like a hand raise if you understood that. So these are like the main data types that you will use. So keeping this in mind, if you look at the error that we were facing just now, that was a problem with respect to data types. Okay. If you add an int plus, if you add two numbers, then you will get the sum of the two numbers. Okay. But what happens if you add string plus string? Any guesses? Give me like in the chat. I'm giving the example of two S and S.
So can we convert one data type into another data type in JavaScript, just like Python?
Yeah, you can.
How?
Uh, you can do it. There are functions for it. Every subject, like every language has a different one. In JavaScript, it is two string and two integer. Okay. If you look here, yeah, see, number, parse float, parse int, converting to string is just two string. Okay. So that's how you convert types. Can you explain the use of for? For loop is to make a loop to repeat things multiple times. Okay, I have sent like the thing for that as well, and also Nirav and uh, Hari Madhav, both of you are right. That is what comes when you do string concatenation. When you do string concatenation, you end up with the strings next to each other, which is what was happening here. You got a string which is I into 7, and you got the string which is the column, and they just got put right next to each other. 21 and 6, 14 and 6, like that. Hmm. Looks like we are reaching a conclusion as well with what we're going to do. So all of you guys stay on your WhatsApp group. Like, we'll ask your opinions as well before we decide. Okay. Until then, just watch me flex my wallpaper. 102 members still. Damn, that's actually cool. Is there anything else? Anything general you guys want to ask, talk about, whatever? Unmute and ask or message in chat. Since we can't take the session, we can just
Sorry.
talk. Yeah.
Uh, share.
Whoever was trying to talk, bro, your voice just died. Yeah, Sudarshan, you can unmute. Okay, is there anybody with anything to ask? You can ask general stuff also. I'm third year, so you can ask if you want to know about college.
Hello.
Yeah,
Yeah, actually, I had that one last doubt. Like you create this constant document, right? You create element div. So why do you create
yes.
that?
Here. Okay, we create elements as div because see, what's the div? A div is any part of HTML page, right?
Yes, yes,
So
yes, yes.
since I don't have an exact
No, you
predefined
just create
functionality. Wait, what?
no, you can see source state.
Your voice is breaking terribly. I can't hear you clearly. What did you say?
Create div element.
Bro, I can't
Not
hear you
source, right?
because your roommates are very loud. Can you like send it as a message in chat?
One,
Yeah. Just send it as a message in the chat. I'll
yeah,
answer
can you
it.
hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you now. Okay.
Like you create an element div in
Yeah, I created a div in a div. Yes.
so like why can't we
Uh,
go with
See,
that?
it's because every item in this should be inside something, right? I could just give it nothing like this, but then I can't give properties to it. I can I can give properties only if it's a div or a span or something like that. Okay. So that's why we create a div for it so that I can give properties to it.
Okay, between append and append child.
Uh, Append and append child. Honestly, even I'm not very clear about that. So let's see. Difference between
Okay, okay,
append and append child. Yes. Oh
okay.
yeah. See, so append child only lets you put a node object. What's a node object? It's an element. Okay. But append lets you put strings as well. So
Okay.
the reason we use append child is because we're always going to put like an element, right? But if you wanted to use append, it will work even then. But if you wanted to not create an element, you just wanted to put a string inside, then you cannot do it with append child. You'll have to do it with append. I hope that cleared your
Okay.
doubt.
Thank you, Bhaiya.
Welcome.
Yes.
Hmm. Okay, let's go to the next question. Please show the JS code. Oh, okay, that is for his solution. I learned the basics of JavaScript in YT. I want to learn more about JS. Where have you learned JS? I didn't learn it in YT or anything actually. What I did was I made a new project, and my suggestion to everybody is you want to learn something, make a calculator. Okay, you want every programming. My roommate is cringing behind me because I've told him that so many times. Make a calculator and practice. Okay. He agrees as well. So make a calculator. So I'll show you my calculator website actually. Uh, hmm, oh yeah, this is my React calculator. Oh wait, that's not that. Okay, let's see what was my repo with that. Oh yeah, this is my GitHub update. So you can see like a bunch of stuff that I made. Somewhere I should have all language calculators. Yes. Mm, yeah. Mm, okay, this is hosted, no? Can't have it. Where have I posted it? Ignore this taking way longer than it should be. React RB. I don't know why it's not working, but let's pull this repo actually. Oh, I don't know why that's not working. Weird. Hmm, hold on for a sec. I'll have it somewhere. I'll just clone it and run it honestly. Give me a minute. I'll show you. See, this is another reason why Git is nice. I can always reopen it and show it to you guys. No. Why did it go? There you go. I found it. Finally. This is the calculator I made while learning React. Okay. So this should be possible on JavaScript as well. I don't remember where my vanilla this one is. This is the calculator I made. You can get solutions. It breaks a lot, but like it works. And that was the calculator I made when I was first learning React. And that is not normal, Nirav. What? Oh, yeah, that's normal now because our code is not complete, but like, wow. Okay. So I suggest when you want to learn, start a project, start doing stuff on that project, and learn the features that you need to do stuff on that project. So, for example, when I learned this calculator, I was like, okay, I have numbers. I have to store them. How do I store them? I found like I stored all the numbers. I want to do the calculation. How do I do that? So you learn a lot in your projects. So I suggest keeping on making projects and you can do that. Find online projects. Don't find online projects. Think of our project ideas on your own. Okay. How do you manage your timetable? My timetable. Hey, third year, you guys don't have timetable only. Okay, like you have very few classes, and if you're 9.3, you don't have to go to those classes also. So that's how I manage my timetable. Okay, I have 3 days without labs, 2 days with one lab in them. So it's chill for me. So yeah. Anything else? Any more questions? Let's not talk about CGPA. Okay. The second year hectic depends on how many credits you have to do in your first year. Our first year we had very few credits, like we had less than 20 in both sems, because which our second year was. Let's just say our second year was difficult. Okay. If we are in first year, we have a tight schedule. If you have a tight schedule in first year, that means that your rest of your years are going to be easier. Okay. You're going to finish most of your credits by the end of second year, and third year, fourth year will be a lot of other stuff. 5 projects, yeah, same. I'm telling you, that when we were in first year, they used to give us DAs. Okay, we used to think that is too much work. Then they started giving us projects. We miss DAs now. When did you start learning web dev? I started learning web dev. Uh, I first started learning web dev when I was in school. Okay, like CBSE, they used to have HTML as part of the syllabus. I started HTML CSS there. I found it very cool. And then I finished HTML CSS that year, like because of school. And then I just stopped using it until later. So we are not continuing it today. We are going to do it tomorrow. And then I started again once I came back, like when I came to college. I learned React and all during my second year. Funnily enough, I learned it in a hackathon. Join hackathons. You learn a bunch of stuff when you go there. Off-campus placement ideas. Ask your father, ask your mother, ask your uncle, ask your auntie. Every family member you know, every family member they know, ask them for a job. Okay. Easiest way for off-campus that use connections. Okay. Hmm. What else? When is the event postponed to tomorrow? And yeah, off campus. See, other than that, you can always find job opportunities on LinkedIn, stalk every company that every company's website. They'll tell you that. Game Dev Club, I hope not. Game Dev is very difficult. Okay. And yeah, the session is over for today. And a reminder to everyone, congratulations. We have event from Sunday. Register 200 rupees. Definitely worth it. You will learn React. It's nice. Better than JS. Trust me, once you start using React, JS will start seeming hard, funnily enough. How did you start? How did you study these programming language? Learn one programming language, everything else is more or less the same. Okay. Like seriously, you start like I started with Python, and then everything after that is, in Python we do this, no, same way you do this here. Okay. So once you know one programming language, they're all the same, but just different ways. Second year late to learn web dev, no way. Start off in second year. Many people, I've seen hackathons, third year people using HTML, CSS. I'm sure there are people in our club who don't know web dev even now. Doesn't matter. You can do things that is not web dev as well. If you want to learn web dev, you can start today. You can start next month. Start today. Don't waste time. But like, yeah. And also, by the way, certificates are only if you come tomorrow. So don't bunk tomorrow. Oh yeah, see, Mithun also does game dev. Also, we did game dev in our club. I'm going to flex our club website now to all of you. Hey, yo, Flappy Chef. Yeah, Flappy Chef. Okay, open this website. I'll send you all the link. Play on it. This is completely done by CodeCraze web dev team. Okay, I'm going to play this now to make you all feel like playing. Surely. Wait for it to load. My internet is shit. Imagine the internet theft. Okay. You guys will have to wait for my screen to load the images because screen share is using my. I am on my hotspot. Okay. You guys will have to wait for me to load assets. Okay. My internet is getting eaten up by my screen share, unfortunately. But open the link, play the game. It looks better than what it looks like on my screen. We made it. Technically, I could just play it on my system. I'm going to local host it. Yeah. Okay. Any more questions? Also nice, no? You get to see what all our club is doing. I'm just casually leaking all of our club projects. Very cool, no? Come join our club. Web dev team is good. CP team is good. Hey, that 3000 score is on a easy version we made, okay? That was specially made version just for Club Expo. It's to pull all of you guys in. Let's the top three spots. Oh yeah, actually. No, top four, please. Thanks. The reason my roommate is saying that is because he is fourth. Okay, I have top two positions in the leaderboard. Definitely didn't use two accounts. Ah, I was developing. Shit. Okay. You guys didn't see anything. Good luck. Shoot for first place. I shouldn't have broke code. But yeah, it's not broken on the actual site, guys. Open the link I sent. Play. Can you upload what you did today? I'm going to start from first tomorrow again. So I mean, I will still upload what I did today if you want. Okay, I'll do that then. I'll zip it and send it as a zip file. So, hmm, anything else? If there's no questions, you can just leave. Your session is over. I'm just sitting here because I have nothing better to do. If I exit the meeting, I have to do assignments. I don't feel like doing assignments. Which branch I'm in? I'm in CSE core. Assignment कर ले. You can unmute and ask questions if you want also. If nobody asks me any questions for 10 seconds, I'm ending. Oh wait, I think we should end the meeting actually. All right, teaching JS then. No. Can you get me internship? Bro, get me internship first. I'll get internship if I get, then I will definitely suggest you. Placements in VIT. Akhilesh, pressure star. Why traumatize so early? To maintain above a 9, yes. How to join CodeChef? Recruitments will open probably October. Join. CP department is big. Web dev is big. Finance and all is all goats as well. Join. What to expertise in? See, there's 5 departments. You be expert in all of them, you'll get into at least one of them. Okay. There's finance, there's market. You join marketing department, but I'm telling you, easy. If you want to join web dev, learn React and all. Income, passive income source. I mean, I do stocks, and like recently Reliance announced they're going to stock split. So like I'm making money, but I don't make much from that. Also, if any of you guys are like full confident about October recruitments, that's just a guess, okay? So like, yeah, eventually we'll have though. Don't you use your web dev skills for passive income? See, I probably could, but like I don't have the time. I tried freelance things. I realized that requires too much time investment. I do not have that much patience. I'm like, okay, I'll just learn skills. Maybe I'll get better. Uh, this one, what? Better placement. I'll probably earn more there. YouTube or stuff. My camera, have you seen? This is my camera. This, if I do YouTube, I'll lose subscribers. Nah. Oh yeah. Anyways, since anyway we are all here, let me just flex all of my social media. Follow me on LinkedIn. Follow me on GitHub everywhere. Follow Club also. Don't just follow me, but like follow me. Nah, bro. Learning Academy and all. Follow club also. Let me find that club page actually. Hmm. Which I am part of the club, so I should have the club page in my profile. It's shit. I sent you the feed link. No, this is my link. This is CodeChef. Follow CodeChef Insta also. Come be CodeChef Insta, no? If any of you guys are here. Akhilesh, I don't have Insta on my laptop. Oh yeah, someone sent me. Yeah, see Instagram CodeChef PIT. Join. Join our cookery group also. That's our club's group for all stuff. Like anything our club is doing, you can find out about it. Is Akhilesh sent it. Join. Definitely very good group. Get random advice. Find out about events like this. Okay, is there anything else you guys want to ask? Okay, bye, Nirav. Okay, if nobody else has anything else to ask, uh, follow all of the links that we sent. Good night. You guys can leave. I'm also going to leave.